What's going on today, guys? StabX4 here today. More like Stab, but bringing another X and Y Wi-Fi battle, of course, in the Oras metagame, not in X and Y. But this was actually a pretty good team, a pretty good game. Wow, I'm screwing up all kinds of screw up today. But this is a good game I had against a passerby named Mint. He does have a pretty unorthodox team, or just a really weird team, really, with a Mega Gyarados and a Darkrai. But despite what it looks like, one of those random fuckboy passerbys that brings like non-EV'd Ubers and shit like that. It was actually a really, really good game, so I hope you guys do enjoy. Chances are this intro is pretty long, so we're going to go ahead and get in the battle, and I'm bringing a team that I found on the forums with Bird Spam. It's a decent team, but the funny thing about the Excadrill is it's set up to be an SD Excadrill, and I made it Scarf, and then I forgot to take SD off for Ironhead. Anyway, I'm going to lead off with Zelf just to get up to screens. He leads off Ferrothorn, and I'm going to go for the Reflect first, I believe, just so he can't destroy my life with the Driver Ball. I probably should have gone for Taunt, but I did want to get my screens up as soon as I can. And plus, Rocks isn't that big a deal because I do have Scarf Excadrill to spin away, and he doesn't really have a spin blocker on his team. So I go for Taunt now, and he can't get up his spike, so he's forced to switch out, which is just going to allow me to get up my Reflect light screen, I believe. The thing here was, I get up my own Stealth Rock. I get up my own Stealth Rock first. He switches with his Gothitelle. I know that I'm trapped, but if I get this light screen up, he can't knock me out with even... I think he may have even take 3 or 4 Shadow Balls to knock me out, which at the same time is not very good for me just because I do have Light Clay to kind of prolong the screens, but I'm wasting my own screen turns, which kind of sucks in that regard. And just in case he went for something like Destiny Bomb, which I don't know why he would, I went for Taunt. No, I went for Taunt so he couldn't go for Trick. That's what it was. And he ends up just spamming Shadow Ball, and at this point I'm waiting for myself to die. I believe at one point I click Stealth Rocks again, or I click Reflect just in case I time it right, and I do set up the Reflect again, but that's not the case, and he just knocks me out with that Shadow Ball. This is going to allow me to get pretty much a free switch into my Talonflame? No, I go right out to my Excadrill. I figured this Earthquake will actually do a good amount, kind of a really good amount actually, and I go for Spin first just to get his rocks out of the way that the Ferrothorn set up. I know that I can spin pretty free on this Gothitelle, especially since he's definitely not Spec, so I can live in an HP Fire if that's what he wants to go for. He ends up going for Grass Knot. It does absolutely nothing, and I'm going to switch out into my Juco, my Charizard X. I don't remember why I named this thing Juco. I made like 6 Charizards at one point, but somehow this one's named Juco. Anyway, it forces him out. He makes a weird play, in my opinion, and by switching out into Scissor, but especially since I was Charizard Y, I would have died. He would have died right away. And then he doubles out again. I guess he misclicked because this is going to allow me to get a free Dragon Dance up. And he does end up being Intimidate Gyarados, but because I went for Dragon Dance, I am at neutral. And Gyarados should not actually be able to do that much to me anyway, so I'm not too worried about that. Unless, of course, he does have the Earthquake, which I believe we find out the hard way that he actually does as I go for a DD here. But I believe I just died of the Earthquake, or maybe I get off one hit. I don't remember. I went for second Dragon Dance, that's what it is. I should have known that he would have Earthquake, but at the same time, I thought that I could also maybe take one. And as you're going to see here, I don't think I end up taking it. Or no, I live on 20, and I'm able to get off a +1 Dragon Claw. My screens go away on this turn, but yeah, I am able to hit him up with a +1 Dragon Claw, which is going to knock him down to a pretty solid amount of health. Actually, it just knocks him out. Good job, Charizard. I forgot about that. Unfortunately for me, at this point, even though I actually quad resist Bullet Punch, I am at a low enough health where he can just click what ends up being Vacuum Wave, which was really interesting, and knocking me out. He actually doesn't knock me out. Never mind. I live on like 3 or 4 HP, and I get off a solid amount of damage with my own Earthquake, which is going to put him in range where Talonflame can come in and click Brave Bird if he wants to. I actually go to Loom first, just because I do expect to withdraw, expecting my Talonflame, and he actually goes to Ferrothorn as I go for a Mach Punch, I believe. I think I just went for Mach Punch because, I mean, the Scissor was at pretty much no health, and the Mach Punch would easily knock it out. I'm going to go for the first Mach Punch on this Ferrothorn, which is totally fine. I know I'm going to take some Iron Barbs damage, and he ends up being the Rocky Helmet variant as well. But I know that even though that was a crit, a second one should knock him out pretty easily, and he can't get any more hazards up, except he actually lives on like 2 HP. Another near miss on a KO, which is going to come back to bite me because he's going to T-Wave my Burloom here. Magic Mushroom is paralyzed in time. It's like da 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 da. Actually, that's Blackhawks. I don't even know what style I was going for. But he sets up his rocks again, which this is why that sucked, actually, because he could get up Stealth Rock again. And to top it off, I believe he goes for Gyro Ball, and I actually live this, maybe? I live this because he paralyzed me, and I'm able to get off another hit and knock up this Ferrothorn. Unfortunately, he did get the rocks up, which is going to force me to spin with my drill later on, but now he can't set up any more hazards, so that's kind of a nice trade-off. I believe here he goes up to Scissor, and I believe I just go for a Mach Punch just in case. I don't know if I could die, if I would have died from Bullet Punch from here, but unfortunately he actually just does go for the Bullet Punch and knocks me out before I can knock him out. Not too big a deal just because I can go out to my drill here and possibly even kill with Rapid Spin. So yeah, I'm in with drill, and he goes for that Bullet Punch. He has Bullet Punch and Vacuum Wave, which is really interesting. He doesn't get a crit there, despite how much that that Vacuum Wave actually did. Luckily for me, I believe he doesn't even die to the Rapid Spin, which was terrible. Because at least I do get my rocks out of the way, but now he's able to get a Bullet Punch off on the Talonflame. Another one where the Scissor definitely has significant attack investment because the Bullet Punch is doing a lot to things that resist it, such as the Talonflame. And I go for the Brave Bird. He's at like 4 HP finally, or he's probably at 1 HP at this point, just because he lives so many hits, and I'm able to knock him out. He goes out of Darkrai, and did I make a misplay here? No, I go for Brave Bird, but somehow Darkrai actually lives, which is really interesting. He wasn't even sashed, because if he was sashed, the rocks would have broken it. But yeah, he hangs on. I don't know if I'm getting a bunch of low rolls or what. At the same time, though, I'm pretty sure this is a Swords Dance Sharp Beak variant and not a aBANDon Talonflame. So he does Dark Void me, and I'm going to take Bad Dreams damage. I forget what I do here. I think what happens is I decide to risk a first turn wake up, and I know that there's not really a reason to save Talonflame if it's asleep. So he actually just kills me off a Dark Pulse. And I wanted to see if he was Life Orb, and he doesn't appear to be, which means I think he was Focus Sash. Here I make a pretty big misplay that almost cost me this game. I thought that I had Scarf Star Raptor, which would have easily killed this, but unfortunately I ended up being Choice Banded, which I did know, but at the same time, when you're like in the game, and the transition between the team screen and the actual game, you sometimes forget what items you have. And yeah, I thought I was Scarf, I wasn't, and he is able to Dark Void me and click Dark Pulse and do a shit ton of damage, nearly knocking me out. Unfortunately, Staraptor's sleepy ass does stay asleep, and I believe I died of Bad Dreams damage. Yeah, so we're in a pretty big bind, but we do have one ace in our sleeve, and that's going to be the fact that Excadrill is in fact Choice Scarf. So I don't have to worry about being able to outspeed this Darkrai. I'm just going to click Earthquake. Earthquake is by far the best move to lock myself into, so Darkrai's going to go down. That wasn't that big a deal. I wasn't worried about killing a Darkrai at all. But what I was actually worried about here, he has Gothitelle. I figured Gothitelle is pretty frail, and after rocks, I should be able to knock this thing out because its physical defense is bullshit. And luckily for me, I am able to take out this Gothitelle. I don't know if the prior damage with the rocks actually mattered, but he goes for a Grass Knot, and I am able to live, which was nice. Excadrill doesn't actually weigh that much. It's literally like, I think a foot or maybe a little less than a foot tall, and it weighs like almost nothing. So Grass Knot is not going to be able to knock it out. Here's the call. See, if Mega Metagross Mega Evolves, and he goes for a Bullet Punch and he gets a crit, I lose. Also, If I go for Earthquake, I will outspeed it because I'm Scarfed. I'm not worried about that. But I'm worried about Earthquake not doing enough damage to Metagross and him hanging on, and then Bullet Punch me and I'll die. And at that point, he probably could have just gone for Meteor Mash and killed me. But luckily for me, I am able to one-shot him with Earthquake, and he will go down, and that will be the game. That was a really good battle, especially for against the passerby. You never know what those guys are going to bring. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this, please leave a like and leave a comment if you so desire. And if you even feel it, if you're feeling special and charitable, you can leave a subscription as well. Anyway, guys, I'm Stab, and I am out.